How you all doing? So we're 287 days in. 287 comes to Back to the Future 176 plus Perfection 111, or New York 111. And it also comes to Donald John Trump 185, Book of Revelation 185, plus 102, Gravity, Dimension. So Book of Revelation, Dimension, it's 287. Okay, are we going to be censored, or let's see who's in the chat? Let's see who's in. Let's see who's in. Let's see who's in. Jacob, Marcy, hey. It was 58, then it went to 56. Hey folks. How you all doing? So for new viewers, A is 1, B is 2, C is 3. It's the order of the alphabet. That's how we do the numbers. We're able to peer around corners dimensionally, have a look at past, present, and future, bring them all together in one pot, using films, popular culture, science, our names, personal references, global references, the Great Awakening, President Trump, Tesla, chemistry, music, anything that you think of. You can do your own geometry. We've got 88 in the chat. There you go. 24 thumbs up. That's X. X marks the spot. So we're 9 days away from November 12th. November 12th is the Back to the Future Day of the Storm. For new viewers, hey Len. For new viewers, if you're familiar with Back to the Future, at the end of the movie, you've got a Bluebird Motel. Hill Valley Bluebird Motel. It's 256 in numbers, and that comes to 2025. And the date in that movie, they're in 1955, and it's November 5th. Sorry, not November 5th, November 12th. Hey Glennis, howdy to you. We've got 119, there you go. Redemption, Nikola Tesla, a reversal of 9/11. Where's everyone from? That's it, let my people go. Exodus is 88, Trump 88. We've got to let the people go. We have to be liberated from the captivity of this dimension. And do we do that through leaving, or do we do that through beating and completing, overcoming the game, the Matrix? Carolina, Michigan, Georgia, Canada, Cold War, Texas. What is that in relation to Austin, Texas? Austin, Texas, 153. A Black Swan event, 153. Interstellar, 153. There you go. Don't let the door hit you on the arse on the way out. Everyone else can come back. I saw something tonight that was interesting. I'm not recommending it, but it's not probably as bad as I thought it might be. The Exorcist. So that was being shown. I've seen it before, but I saw the director's cut. I can't remember if I saw that one or not, but it was a bit different. But it was interesting because Ellen Bernstein is the female mother in the film. And I was looking at her, I was like, she seems familiar to other actresses, but I didn't realise it was her till the credits came up. And she's Murph in Interstellar, at the end of Interstellar. And there's a part with the blowing windows, and that reminded me of the part with the blowing windows in Interstellar. It's a bit more gory than the kind of ghost element in The Exorcist, whereas the ghost element in Interstellar is to do with time travel, interdimensional, quantum physics, future selves, synchronicities, all those things, coding, numbers. But I saw that, I was like, oh, that's interesting. And then lo and behold, it's her. The mother is Murph in the future in Interstellar. Right across the bridge. Which bridge? The master plan. If that's correct, I like that. 152. That's Bournemouth. That's my birthday, which is 15th Feb. 152. 215 is 11th of September. 215. Teleportation. What was that one? Teleportation stations. 287. If that's correct, signature, I like that one. What's the numbers on teleportation? Station is 98, so stations would be 117. Okay, so teleportation. I guess would be 160. Is that right? Is teleportation 160? If that's correct. Station's 98, if I remember rightly. So stations would be 117. Manifestation. And according to your numbers, teleportation would be 160. Check that for us if that's correct. So, 58 in the chat, 58 is XRP. What have the markets been doing today? They've been kind of dropping. The weekend was kind of bobbing like this, and now it's dropped down maybe kind of 10%. Eric Trump said about buying the dip, so he said that a few weeks ago. I don't know how long or how deep the dip will be, but he did say buy the dip, so lucky dip. Frank's 50, Donald, Portland, Oregon. What's it like in Portland, Oregon right now? Is it still a mess, or have they managed to clear it up? I went through Portland, Oregon, or was it Seattle? I can't remember. At night, it was quite an impressive city. Like the freeways, there's a bit right through the middle of the city. It was quite futuristic, quite grandiose. It was either Oregon or it was Seattle, and I can't remember which one it was. But we didn't really get time to stop and see it. We just drove straight through it. But it was one of those, and I quite liked the look of it. Had a bit of the feeling of San Francisco, but kind of a bit more. It seemed higher, the bridges. It seemed kind of quite, high and big, if that makes sense. Cottage Grove, Oregon. Okay. So 9 days, folks. So if we're on that timeline, if we're on the Back to the Future timeline, then the storm, November 12th, and that's 10 days before Kennedy, November 22nd, which is all to do with the ISO system. It's all to do with, you got the F1 race, the second warm-up race in Vegas, the Sneakers film, the Tenet Square. They all point to this date of November 22nd. And Ivanka's post went on the Q posts. You see the beautiful Ivanka, 58 XRP. And it all started with Ivanka. All the numbers started with Ivanka when I met her. I can pinpoint them all from that point on. Prefaced by Cousin Paul's passing. When I met her, that's when the numbers started. And death to the triumvirate. Plus Ivanka. Death to the Triumvirate, 262. 262 is in the film Sneakers. Why did President Trump do those sneakers a year or two ago? Those sneakers, those Trump trainers, those Trump sneakers. Sold them for a lot of money on, people, but they were collector's items. But why sneakers? Sneakers is 92. Sneakers is Manhattan. Sneakers is reverse. Sneakers is Yorker, as in New Yorker. Who's the New Yorker? It's him. It's the Trumps. You'd have the Bostonites, I guess. The Bostons are the Kennedys, but the New Yorkers are the Trumps. Richard is 61, Miracle. I'm not sure about the other ones. JR is 28. But yeah, Death to the Triumvirate, which is Q Post 205. And that the date of that is November 22nd, which is the anniversary of JFK. 62 years on, that will be. 62 is shot. The shot heard around the world. Wouldn't that be ironic to see something in regards to JFK and the money system and everything else on November 22nd? That will be 10 days after the storm, if that's the timeline that we're on. And so the 10 days of darkness comes to 233, which comes to John Fitzgerald Kennedy. So you have the storm in Back to the Future. John F. Kennedy Drive is mentioned in Back to the Future. The word drive is 58, XRP, Ivanka. Mayor Thomas is mentioned. Thomas is 76, Ripple 76, Contact 76, and Magic Wand 76. Hey, Suzanne. A marathon old name for sneakers. There you go, yeah. Makes me think of my dad's Adidas shoes. He used to spikes, he used to sprint sports days. He was a quick runner. And he'd play squash as well. He'd have an Adidas t-shirt and he'd have his spikes, and when he'd run, when he'd sprint, and he had this Adidas bag. Idaho. Hey, Marcy. 221 in the chat is 1,000 Years of Peace. 1,000 Years of Peace is 222. The 1,000 Years of Peace is 254. I might have said 1,000 Years of Peace the other day with 254. 254 is the day of September 11th on a non-leap year. Tower 1 plus Tower 2 is 254. We do live in a matrix, folks. We live in a design. Fancy that. Tower 1, which is 115, part of the deal. Intelligence, 11.5, the election. 139, Tower 2, transition, Christopher, money exchange. Add them together is 254. Tower 1 plus 2, Tower 1 plus Tower 2. And that's nowhere in a book. You're not going to find that anywhere else, but that came to me. So Tower 1, 115. Tower 2, 139. Add them together is 254. And what day of the year did September 11th happen in Space Odyssey 2001? Day 254, which is the 1,000 Years of Peace. And it's also, I always get this one confused. So the bridge out there as well, Verrazano Narrows Bridge. I think I've said that right. That's 254 as well. So all the geographical things around New York and Manhattan and Staten Island, Liberty Island, Governor's Island, all around there. They're all coded. The whole thing's coded. Hudson Bay, the Hudson River, they're all coded. I think Hudson River, we did this a few weeks ago, didn't we? 153. A Black Swan event, 153. Is Ark of the Covenant 254? Wow, if that's the case, that's brilliant. So the 10 days of darkness, if the storm creates that from November 12th, November 12th in numbers is 188, which is President Kennedy, which is Show Me the Money, which is Jesus of Nazareth, which is the coronavirus. Close Encounters 188. You've got the whole thing with Third Eye Atlas coming in, haven't you? Atlas is 53, which is red flag. We've got 253 in the chat. Now we've got 261, which is November 22nd in numbers. There you go. Do you know how this works? Then we've got 98. 9 plus 8 is 17Q. Excuse me. Take that out. 99 is Ascension. 99 is Spider-Man without the hyphen. Do you remember I spoke about Spider-Man before? So the Tobey Maguire one, when they brought that out, they did the trailer before. That was in 2000 or 2001. The trailer came out, but then a few months later, the 9/11 happened. So they edited that part of the film out. But there was a bit with Spider-Man casting a web between the two twin towers, and he caught a helicopter. Helicopter's 111. I think it's Leonardo. No, it's not Da Vinci, is it? I think Leonardo da Vinci's 146. But helicopter 111, illusion 111, New York 111. That's probably what, you know, that's probably what it was. They were telling you it was an illusion. There you go. Hadn't thought of it like that. Or maybe did ages ago. So Spider-Man catches, and Spider-Man is 131, John F. Kennedy, Empire State. 131 is Belt of Orion, or the Belt of Orion, one of the two. Excuse me. Belt of Orion it would be. Solipsism is 131. That's an interesting concept for everyone to think about. We got 267 in the chat, which is Sonny Hayes plus Joshua Pierce, the racers that win the race in F1. 108 thumbs up, which is Twilight. Token is 64. No, 65. Stay. Some other big numbers. But yeah, Spider-Man catches the helicopter in the trailer. We got 272 in the chat. 272 is temporal pincer movement. That's what's going on, folks. 109 thumbs up, which is 17, which is PSYCH CLUB. Diana Spencer. Witness. Who does she witness against? But yeah, you can see it online. It's on, like, you can see the trailer that was edited out. It was taken out of the film, but there was a clear part where Spider-Man cast a web between the two towers, caught a helicopter that he was chasing. The helicopters are 111, New York 111. We've got 111 thumbs up. There you go. See, this is how it works, folks. I'm telling you these things and they pop up. And 111 is illusion. 111 is computer. 111 is New York. 111 is the Kennedy. 278 is a very important number. Somewhere very important. It's also the currency revaluation. It's also Thomas Sidney Bushnell magic. I guess that's what we're doing. I say magic. I don't know how to do magic, but it would be interesting to know. And we could combat it when they try it, but I guess there's a good version of it, and I think numbers have something to do with it. 117 is Fifth Avenue. Manifestation, or manifesting. Now we're on 118, thumbs up, which is someone else very important. And it's the Storm, the Matrix, Atomic Kid. Now 119, Nikola Tesla redemption. Reversal on 9/11. Mary Magdalene, 120, the truth. Mary Magdalene's 119, but 120 is the truth. 285, Ivanka Marie Trump Bushnell. There you go. If that was the case a couple of lifetimes ago, I welcome that. Now we got 287. There we go. We got today's number. The Bounty Hunter. Well, I've got a Boba Fett figure from Star Wars, the Bounty Hunter. V for Vendetta. There you go. V. V is 22. Yeah, V for Vendetta, there you go, see? V for Vendetta, V, 22, November 22nd. If you do 11/22, that's 33. So that's JFK reversing it back on them. 33, Jesus Christ was age 33. 33 bones in the back, in the vertebrae, and the spine. Atlas. I wonder if that's also a metaphor. So Atlas, I wonder if that's a metaphor for how far up we are. So we've gone up the 33 vertebrae, and then you've got the Atlas, you've got the occiput, I'm not sure which one's which in order, and then you've got the skull, the cranium, the corona. Telling you folks that we're very, very close. We're very, very close. If we take the anatomy of the human body as our marker, Atlas is there, just at the base of the skull. We had coronavirus. The coronavirus, as I said, is 188, which is November 12th, 94. There you go. So we've just got the skull next. Skull and bones. That's all going to be exposed, but the true skull, the skull that this human body that we're in, humanoid, however you want to say it. So we're very close. We're just, the next part is the skull. It's the, wow, I hadn't thought of it. But look, see, that's what comes. We get pure revelation when we're doing the numbers, when we're talking, when we're sharing together. Let's go. That's it. The chosen ones. Let's go. Where we go, when we go all. 85 Storm, Matrix, Awakening, Silver. 5D's here, Stephen. Yeah. Did you email me yet, Stephen? You don't have to, but that was interesting what you said about a house in America. So if that's the case, send me an email. We'll have a little chat. But I hope you're well, either way. Meat suit. There you go. Meat suit. That's what Mark says. 303. So 303 is Ivanka's birthday. Now it's 310. 310, the quantum financial system. Malachi 310 in the Bible. The windows of heaven, which is Nasara Jasara. Read 132, thumbs up. That's the life of chat. That's on again tomorrow. And then 133 is simulation. I'm of white. Terminator. Trump plus Vance. Trump plus Vance. Terminator. I'll be back. You're Fired is from Back to the Future, but it's kind of Terminator-ish as well, isn't it? You know. 309, the shot heard around the world. The shot heard around the world. Oh, it's a pleasure. It's a pleasure, John C. I'm glad you're here. I'm glad you enjoy it. 135, thumbs up, is John Trump. Hyphen dash. So dash is 32. That's how I do the hyphen. So like Spider-Man. So Spider-Man's 99, Ascension, Patriot, Judgment. Double 9. Yeah, 99. But then the hyphen or the dash, I call it the dash, 32. So you just spell out the word dash 32. And that takes you to 131 for Spider-Man. Now we've got 320 in the chat, and we've got 140 Tom numbers. There you go. Tom numbers 140, the quantum, the military, the currency. We had 320, which is John Fitzgerald Kennedy, Liberty and Light in the World. Now we're on 322. There are good versions for 322 as well. But the Skull and Bones, Atlas, the Skull and Bones, that's going to get exposed. Everything's coming together, folks. Everything's coming together. It's all connected, yeah. Even that song. The thigh bone's connected to the hip bone, you know, that one. But yeah, November 22nd, the date of JFK, the shot heard around the world. Shot is 62. 62 years later will be November 22nd this year, which is a Saturday. And Back to the Future says next Saturday night we're going back to the future. There's a film, not a film, there's excuse me, I'm just holding it with the other hand for a second. I'm still here. There's a TV series, I think it's Netflix or another channel, Hulu maybe. And it's, what do they call it? I think they call it 11/22/63, something like that. It's got James Franco in it. And it's about time travel and going back to the day of JFK to change those events. And I've been saying for a long time that the events of JFK were not what they said on the tin, and I think a lot of people realize that. But I believe time travel and higher being, technology, aliens, God, however you want to look at it, was used to do all of that. And that series is talking about time travel. So if you do JFK, so if you do November 22nd, 1963, 63 in numbers comes to the word Friday, 63. Paris also comes to 63, and that was for Diana. August 31st for Diana, 261. Q, witness protection, 261. November 22nd for Kennedy comes to 261. 261 comes to National Security Agency, and that's the one that Q has been using. They're the biggest one, and they have eyes and ears on everything. So that's why they would catch everybody, you see. That's why they would defeat agencies like CIA, I guess FBI 17Q, but CIA is 13. 243, Central Intelligence Agency, which is also John F. Kennedy Eternal Flame. So you have both pairs of numbers. You have the numbers that are good and bad, and it gets reversed. And that's how, probably one of the ways they're able to do it. 325 in the chat. There you go. We're nearly at 326. But if you did the next day of JFK, that was a shot heard around the world. November 23rd, on the Saturday, here in England, the TV show Doctor Who was being released, which is about time travel in the TARDIS, the blue police phone box. But it got squashed basically because of the events of the day before. So they re-released it a week later again and showed it again. But Doctor Who is about time travel, like I said. But then if you do 1920, if you do November 23rd, Saturday, so the day after JFK, that comes to 369, the Tesla numbers. We've got 333 in the chat, there you go. There's a massive 333 across the water from Mar-a-Lago, a dentist building. Dentist is 91 POTUS, Space Force, and building is 78 Kennedy, just as I'm talking about him. 156.33, there you go, which is Baron Trump, 133. Tesla lived on the 33rd floor. San Francisco is 109.17 if I remember rightly. California's 88 Trump. That's where Ripple is, San Francisco. So not all California tech is wonky. Some of it's good. It's getting brought back around. But if you do time travel witness protection, 369, the Tesla numbers. If you do John Kennedy witness protection, 369, the Tesla numbers. You can do November 23rd, Saturday, 369, the day after the events of JFK. Time travel is a brilliant way to hide. Witness protection, that's a brilliant way to hide. If you're tuning in frequency in a radio station, a radio set, there's pretty much unlimited bandwidths you can go into. And if you're able to exist in this lifetime, even just say 3 seconds ahead, you'd always be 3 seconds ahead, but no one would know you're doing it. No one would know you're there. That's quite a thought to think about. And that's what's been going on. That's what Looking Glass is. That's what that technology that they have. So 159 is a week to remember. 159 Gustavo Fring. 160 is assassination. 159 is also, the Chinese elders, and 159 is also John F. Kennedy, Jr. But that's a brilliant way to hide dimensionally. Just, however, whether you're a few seconds back or a few seconds into the future or many years ahead or behind, that's a brilliant way to hide. And that's what's been going on. You could always be 3 seconds ahead, 3 minutes ahead. You could be 10 seconds ahead. You could be 10 minutes ahead. That's what Back to the Future shows. That's what Marty does. He's able to move through time. But the past, present, and future is all one. So it's the frequency, it's that reality. So you tune into that frequency, that space in dimension, and then you can go straight to it as though it's like right now. And that's what they've been doing. The film Nuremberg is actually coming out. The new one's coming out next week, actually. Yeah, Nuremberg. That'd be interesting to see what's said in that. The skullduggery, yeah. Atlas. We're on the tip. If Atlas is the thing that's just below the skull is obviously great because it's our body, it's our head, it's our consciousness. But also, in terms of the bad stuff, that's got to get exposed. So that's another marker to show that we're so close. We're so close. Yeah, well, lumens and ripple are in, they're in that Disney Pixar film. I can't remember what it is. It's about the fishes, but they're in there. Stellar is in Love Actually. Stella's in Back to the Future, the first one. Back to the Future 2 talks about the ripple effect. XRP is in Rounders. Not Rounders, Sneakers. It actually says XRP. X-Core is in Matrix, The Matrix. The Batman, The Dark Knight Rises 206 at the end. When he gets the bomb, defuses it, takes it out over the river. It looks like the Brad Garlinghouse tattoo with the X. Looks very similar. It's the same, really. You look at the bomb. It's the XRP logo, slightly curved, but it's the way that Brad Garlinghouse, the CEO of Ripple, has it on his tattoo. Tattoo's 91. Space Force 91. John had a tattoo, didn't he? The Z. The Z is 26. Game 26. God 26. A game is 27. JFK. Code is 27. Red is 27. We've had Red October. There we go. We're already, aren't we? 1,000 years of peace. That's what we want. We so want it. That's what we want. We so want that. We so want that. That's what we want. I've been to Mar-a-Lago. Yeah, it's quite a unique place. It's very unique. I'd like to spend more time there. I will do in the future. But it's a very unique place. It is. It's like a golden palace on the sea. It's very lavish, there's depth to it. It's yeah, something can't quite put my finger on it, but it's something that's quite unique. Quite unique. I would suggest that there's portals, time portals there. You've been there 7 times. That's brilliant, Suzanne. How did you do that? 175 in the chat, Princess. There you go. Diana Francis Spencer 175, and we're just talking about Mar-a-Lago. There you go. There you go. 340. Drop the 0. 34 leap. DJT. Now we've got 176, which is Back to the Future level playing field. Real Tom Numbers. 177 is the Tom Numbers show. Make sure you subscribe to that other channel as well. That we're resurrecting slowly. We're pumping blood back through it. Back through it, back through it. Yes, you can. So Elon's been saying that, hasn't he? Elon's saying that. You're watching Back to the Future too. Brilliant. There you go. Have you seen the real Donald Trump that walks across the town square? He's wearing a red MAGA cap. He's got a golden, like an orange copper kind of sports jacket. Walks behind Marty. Yeah, Elon's saying that about jobs. They've been saying that. So, well, he said, in 10 years' time, the world will be very different. It will be before then, but he said it will look completely different because of the upgrade, the software. Software is 107, which is quantum 107. Military 107, eternal life 107. The software 107, eternal life 107. People won't die anymore. You can resurrect loved ones. If you so choose, you won't die anymore. And you'll be able to do things that you are passionate about. Your calling. It's like when the RV, all that takes place, I'll still do my numbers. I'll do other things as well because there'll be other gifts that come on board, but it's something that I would do. Well, I proved that I did it before and the earning capacity came out of it. I thought we were all going to be done very soon, back in 2020, so I was like, we'll just get the job done. I didn't know it was going to go on for nearly 6 years. But anyway, we are where we are. But yeah, you'll be able to do things you're passionate about. So people will be able to do things they're passionate about. And there's that economy now. You can do things you're passionate about and earn from that. That's the beauty of the technology that we're in. But that's just going to improve. It's just going to get better with AI and all these other things. But sickness, disease, death, they'll be off the table. Maybe people will choose that still, I don't know, but you won't have to. It won't be a thing that's out of people's control anymore. That's hence the 1,000 years of peace, the millennium, at least 1,000 years of peace. People are immortal. The reality is that we're immortal, we're gods, that's what we are. And we chose somehow to come down to this. Maybe we were bored, we were doing some knitting up in heaven, and we're like, oh, we're going to go down into like this virtual reality, forget who we are and figure it out. Sometimes I do question the sanity of why we did that. But we're here, so we might as well make the most of it. But that's what we're going to. That's the contrast. So when you go from how life was to being immortal, unlimited wealth, being able to create on demand and all the rest of it, that's the contrast. That's the contrast. That's the beauty of it, you see. So we got 185 in the chat. Donald Trump's watching us. Hello, sir. 315, the transition to greatness. There you go. The 88 miles per hour. 315. That's what it is. That's what it is, folks. That's where we're going. That's what it's about. Well, that's it. I don't think any of us recall agreeing to it because we had a mind wipe, didn't we? I don't recall agreeing to it, but we're here. And now we're picking it apart and figuring it out. 189. There you go. It's my birthday, February 15th. 324. 324 pops up at the beginning of Tenet. There's quite a few numbers in the opening scene of Tenet in the opera. Tenet in the opera. There you go. That could even be a play in itself. Yeah, it's very cool. It's very cool. Happy birthday for the 21st of February. It's a Ronald Reagan bad B movie. Do you remember the Garbage Pail Kids? Do you remember the one with President Reagan? There was like a Trump character as well, wasn't there? Was it Adam Bot? There was a Trump kind of character, the Garbage Pail Kids. I loved those. And I was early, so my cousins in Manchester, Paul and his brother Richard, for some reason, Manchester, when we were kids, Manchester, in this instance, got the Garbage Pail Kids, the sticker, the bubblegum sticker cards. They got those about 3 weeks early compared to the south of England. So when they came down and visited, Ivanka's in the chat, 192, Ivanka Marie Trump. It's a very high number. And they came down to visit. They visited very rarely back in those days. Didn't see them that much. I got to know Paul more when we were like young adults, more independent then. But And in England, if you appreciate, so when I go to America, I flip into America like travel thing. So, oh, you just travel for a day, 1,000 miles, that's normal. Here in England, to do something like that is a big deal. It's just because it's more condensed here and it's just not as normal. So going to Manchester feels like a trek, like 4 hours, well, 5 hours probably from here, drive. But so when they came down, I remember that weekend they came down and they showed their Garbage Patch Kids to me, and I was like, wow, this is amazing. Garbage Pail Kids, not because they were based on Cabbage Patch Kids, weren't they? But Garbage Pail Kids. Cabbage Patch Kids is another thing, isn't it? In the Great Awakening. But and then I had some of them. They gave me some. I took them to school, and then eventually, all like the corner shops and newsagents started stocking them, and everyone collected them from there. But there was a Ronald Reagan one, and there was one that was quite like Trump. I should code those maybe. The Garbage Pail Kids. Who remembers the Garbage Pail Kids? The 80s were great, weren't they? Yeah, there you go, incubator babies. 6 is 52 when you spell it. Earth, heart, ship. Bedtime for Bonzo. I don't know that one, but it sounds fun. Some of them were branded. They were, weren't they? They were quite gross. Some of them really funny though. I remember collecting the whole lot, and there was many series, but I collected all the first ones, and then I think the second into the third. But it was fun to be ahead of the time, be ahead of the curve, and because everyone at school was like, "What are these? Oh, wow!" And then, like I said, about 3 weeks later, they started stocking them in all the shops. But the North was ahead of the South on that occasion. The Thunderbirds. There you go. So we got 196 in the chat, which is on-demand liquidity, and then you got 322. Well, you got 196 thumbs up, and then you got 322 in the chat. Changes quickly though. The algorithm's always changing things. And thanks for your super chats yesterday. I appreciate those that sent them. So thank you for those. And I've got a PayPal as well if you want to send anything directly. And those that do, I will give you a shout in tomorrow's show. I'll give you a shout out in tomorrow's show if you send a PayPal. PayPal link is below. The Saint with Roger Moore. Yeah. So my nan, Eileen Mary Adelaide Wood 205, Q Post 205, which is November 22nd, which is Death to the Triumvirate with Ivanka XRP, 320, Liberty Enlightening the World. We've got 313 in the chat, which is Lift the Veil from Your Eyes, which is the Mar-a-Lago painting, and then 198 is President Trump. There you go. But my dear gran, my nan, she bumped into Roger Moore many years ago. I think it was in Denham, which wasn't too far from Pinewood Studios, and I think he was in the Bakers or the Butchers. I think it was the Bakers, and she bumped into him. So yeah, Roger, hello. Roger Moore. I did see Pierce Brosnan at an event once. I might have said hello to him, I don't know, but he was kind of Pierce Brosnan. He was acting. He was on point. He was playing the character Pierce Brosnan while being Pierce Brosnan, if that makes sense. Porco, there he is, Bob. Good stuff. Sedona's lovely. Have I ever told you about the road trip I did? So I was staying with my friend Chad in Mesa in Arizona, and we went to the Grand Canyon. So we went from Mesa, the desert area of Mesa, and then we went through this kind of grassland prairie places. We're going north, up towards Flagstaff and up to the canyon beyond, and then kind of this foresty area. And then we eventually got to Sedona, which was beautiful. And then we got to the crater. I stopped off there and saw the crater. And then eventually got to the Grand Canyon. So we went through about 5 or 6 kind of topographies that day, which was really cool. And that was a great road trip. Good memories of that. Yeah. A great day in Arizona. Wow, Bob, thanks. Well, 189 is February 15th, my birthday. Shaken, not stirred. I do like Arizona. Do you live out there? Is that where you live, Stephen? I do like Arizona. I do like the beach though, because when you made that offer, I was like, I'd like to be on the beach, so maybe Florida or California. Where do you live? Where do you live, Steve? Connecticut. Okay. Okay. But I do like Arizona. I do like it. Maybe a kind of snowbird home there, but I do like the ocean as well. So I love the mountains. I love all the kind of great geography of the US, but I do love the ocean. Where's the place where you get the ocean, you get the mountains, and you get kind of the desert as well, all quite close? Does such a place exist? With beautiful forests as well. There you go. We'll chuck those in as well. Beautiful forests like pine trees. I love pine trees. There's something energetically very powerful about pine trees. They're my favorite types of trees. I like all trees, but particularly pine trees. You can feel the resonance when you're in there. Pine trees are incredible. Where in California? What part of California would that be? North California, what, the redwoods up there? Pine Knob, Michigan. Pine Knob, Michigan, okay. Just screenshot that one. Cairns, Australia. There you go. But I do like Arizona very much. I like Utah as well, with the mountains, but I do like Arizona. Yeah, I do. It's hot in the summer though, that's the only thing for me. I like it when it's, I like being there when it's not so hot. Summer's too hot for me there, yeah. But somewhere that is beautiful sunshine. I like sunshine more than heat, if that makes sense. I like the warmth, I do. But I like it when it's bright sunshine. A good tepid temperature, not too hot, not on extremes of heat. And then beautiful forests, lakes, mountains, and a bit of desert. There you go. Not asking for much, am I? But we can create all that. We can create our worlds as we would like. Have I forgotten another desirous or desirable type of land location? I don't know. Have I? So anyway, folks, I'm going to see you tomorrow. All right. God bless you all. Hit the hype button. Lots of love. See you tomorrow. Thanks a lot, everyone. You take care.